Hey guys, what's up and welcome to today's video. If you have checked out any of my recent videos, I discussed that I wanted to start a new series on my channel that would feature older palettes. Now, when I say older, I mean these are palettes that could have launched a few months ago, a couple months ago. These are palettes that could have launched 2 years ago. I just thought it would be kind of nice to kind of go back into my collection and just re-inspire, share some inspiration. There are so many products being just shoved in our faces. There are so many new palettes being launched all the time. If you are a makeup lover like myself, you purchase probably a lot of palettes. You do one look with them, or you see a creator do a single look and then you never hear them really talk about it or touch it ever again. So what good are all of these products if I'm not touching them and I'm not sharing with you guys what I'm loving about them after the initial review? So today, since it is St. Patrick's Day, I thought it would be fun for me to recreate one of my all-time favorite looks. Now, if you aren't familiar with Treat Beauty, they make those giant lip balms. I have talked about them so many times on my channel. In fact, I have 2 of them right here in my drawer. I did a monthly favorites featuring these years ago. I want to say it was probably about 2 years ago. It was in the very early stages of my channel, and the owner, CEO of Treat Beauty, actually took that clip and she shared it on Instagram and Facebook, and I would go back and read the comments, and so many people were asking me how I created this particular very deep, smoky, emerald green eye look. So that's what we're going to be doing today. I have 3 different palettes in front of me that I'm going to dip into. The look will probably end up being just slightly bit different because I do want to incorporate a little bit more to it. The initial look really only uses about 2 or 3 shades, but I do want to kind of jazz it up a bit. I have the original Jaclyn Hill palette in front of me, the Just My Luck palette from ColourPop, and then the brand new Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette. So all of these obviously have a green or a very green base, and they have the perfect shades to create this look. So let's hang out together. I know a lot of us are pretty much staying indoors, but that's all right. It's the perfect time to kind of dig into our collections and get creative and do something that really relaxes us all. At least for me, doing my makeup is a very relaxing kind of me time part of my day. So I'm going to zoom you guys in and let's create a beautiful St. Patrick's Day inspired deep smoky emerald eye look. All right, now that I have you guys zoomed in, we're going to go ahead and create this beautiful emerald green smoky eye. I went ahead and primed my lids with the Jeffree Star Magic Star concealer in the shade C13, and I set it down with some of the Laura Mercier translucent setting powder. If you are wondering what's on my lips, this is from the Hilary Duff collaboration with Nude Sticks. I believe it's called Secret Keeper. I think that's the name of the shade. And then I topped it with the NYX Butter Gloss in the shade, I think it's Madeline, my all-time favorite, but such an amazing lip combo. I don't know if it'll match this look, but we're just gonna go ahead and go with it. I'm gonna start off with the Alter Ego number 3 brush. I love these Alter Ego brushes. Check them out. They are fairly new. They do come in a set like this. It's the 8-piece eye brush collection. Super nice. We're going to start off with the Jaclyn Hill palette. Now, obviously, you can go into a palette that has similar shades. You don't have to use the Jaclyn Hill palette. Any kind of neutral, very light brown shade will work for this initial transition. I'm going to dip into this shade right here with this brush. Now, you kind of got to be careful with the shade that you do choose to lay down initially because you don't want anything to look muddy, and we want to make sure that everything is going to blend into one another. So this is perfect. I'm just going to lay that down into the crease. So you can see it's not doing a whole lot, but it is going to add something for that deeper green shade to blend into. In my opinion, this is not a difficult look. This is actually fairly easy to accomplish. It's all about how you pack the shadows on, and obviously when we get into the deeper shades, which sometimes can be a little bit intimidating, it'll get easier the way that I show you guys how to do it. Right now, as you can see, it didn't do much. It just kind of created just a little bit of depth, and that is exactly what we want. Now I am going to deepen it up just a little bit more. I'm going to take this Sonia G brush. This is the Crease 2 brush, and I'm going to now dip into this shade right here in the palette, picking up just a little bit. This is one that you have to be careful with because I don't want this look to be brown. That is not what I want. I just want to create just a little bit of dimension. perfect. That's all it takes. Like I said, essentially we are just carving out the eye and creating a little bit of shadow. And this is nice too if you have hooded eyes, if you're trying to create a deeper look. Laying down the shadow using some more neutral muted tones will definitely help. All right, so now we're gonna go ahead and move into the base of this look. I'm gonna use this flat shader brush right here to pack on, and we are gonna go ahead and dip into this very, very deep green shade right here. I'm picking up quite a bit of pigment. Now I have worked with this shade before. There can be a little bit of fallout. I'm not too worried about it. If you are more concerned about that, you can obviously put some translucent powder underneath the eyes here or use eyeshadow guards if you are worried about the fallout. I'm not. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna start by just packing this shade pretty much all over the lid. It's gonna look messy, but you have to trust the process. I promise you that this will turn out beautiful. Just kind of using packing motions and just packing this all over the lid. I am bringing it up into the crease slightly while tapping this. I'm not going too crazy. I'm kind of sticking with the natural shape of my eye. I'm not making that butterfly wing shape. I'm not using any cat eye techniques or anything like that, and you can feel free to. But for my eye shape, when I create a look like this, this is what typically works best for me. So you can see the look is starting to come together. I'm gonna move on to the other side and just pack, pack, pack. Not really seeing any fallout, which is good. I did pick up a lot of the shadow, but I did also tap my brush pretty well too. Remember, you can always build pigment up. This green shade is so beautiful. I absolutely love that Jaclyn included this in her palette. That's what really makes the original Jaclyn Hill palette so special, is the arrangement of shades. It just has everything in it. Now, I've heard rumors that the new palettes are a different formula. I still have the original. This guy is probably way past due, but I'm gonna keep using it. Obviously, it's not off in its scent. It's not dry. These shadows still pack a punch even after, I wanna say it's been well over 2 years now. Okay, so now that I have built up my base, at least on this eye, my brush pretty much has deposited all of the color. I'm gonna go ahead and work on the crease and just blending this out. Now I want to be careful. I don't want to blend it too far up. Like I said, I kind of want to keep it to the shape of my eye. If the pigment looks a little bit harsh right now, or the shadow looks a little bit harsh, that's okay. It will soften up. And I'm going to start going into that crease and buffing just a bit using that same brush and kind of starting to soften everything. Now, as you can see, those two shadows that I laid down previously into the crease, nothing is looking muddy. This green shade is actually blending very nicely into that initial transition shade that I laid down. I'm going to go ahead and complete the other eye. Take this flat shader brush right here. I'm gonna pick up this shade right here out of the Just My Luck palette. That is the shade 50/50. Again, using this flat shader brush. Go ahead and wet my brush. Just gonna use a little bit of the Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And what I like to do is I take a shade like this. I'm gonna kind of put this around where I know that halo is gonna be. Just tapping this kind of right here where I know I'm gonna end up placing that deeper shade right in the center. So I'm kind of leaving that gap open, and I'm just taking this one and patting it just like that, if you guys can see. So boom, boom, like two stripes. Perfect. Now that we have that down, I'm gonna dip into the Flower Beauty Jungle Lights palette, and I'm gonna dip obviously into this green shade. I'm gonna use my finger for this. How gorgeous is that? And I'm gonna tap that right into the center where I kind of left that space. I'm gonna blend that right into those other two that I laid down. Again, right now we're just trying to create some dimension, as you can see. Probably thinking that those other shades that I laid down might have been a little bit useless, but really what it did is it laid something down for me to blend this shade into, so I had more of a gradient glowing effect. Now you could go above and beyond if you wanted to bring even more brightness into it, and you could put one of these two shades, but I want this to be very green, so I'm going to leave this right here. So I go back in with that flat shader brush. I'm gonna dip into the Jungle Lights palette, dipping into that same green shade. I am gonna go ahead and wet my brush. Now I'm gonna move to the lower lash line. So I'm actually gonna go right into the center, right down here. I'm just gonna drag a little bit of that metallic right in the center only, just stopping right there. I pick up my LR110 brush. I'm not gonna pick up any more pigment because there's already green on this. And I'm gonna start to work on the lower lash line and buffing that out. Now, I'm not too worried about going too low on the lower lash line. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try to soften up these edges just a bit more. Again, like I said, going in with that same brush, not picking up any more of the pigment, but just kind of running that along the edge, so that everything looks nice and softened and blended. Take this Morphe M508, and I am gonna go ahead and dip into this shade right here in the Jungle Lights palette, which is called Paradise. Could have been telling you guys the shades the whole time. It's right on the back, and it's color-coded. They made it easy. The green shade is called Anaconda, so we'll just throw that out there. I'm gonna go ahead and put that right on the inner corner, very gently, because this, as you can see, packs a punch. Kind of just dabbing that like such. It almost looks like it's leaving like gold flakes, which is kind of what I want. I'm going to pop some black liner in the waterline. This is the Easy on the Eyes from Sugar Rush from Tarte. This is just a black liner. This liner is like bam. It is so black. It is amazing, and I love it, and it wears for a super long time. All right, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and pop on some mascara, and I will be right back with the final look. All right, you guys, so there you have it. A beautiful, very St. Patrick's Day appropriate smoky emerald green eye look. I absolutely love this. Smoky eyes are honestly one of my favorites. I know that I don't rock a look like this often on my channel, but like I said, I am a sucker for green shadows, and this is a beautiful look. I finished this off with some of my Tarte Surfer Curl Mascara. Now, obviously, this would look absolutely gorgeous with some fluttery false lashes. I'm not a huge fan of false lashes, but I do think it would look beautiful. I would definitely consider adding some in if you wanted even more of a dramatic look, but I think that this look turned out beautiful. In my opinion, it is very simple. You can do this in many, many different ways. You can achieve it in your own way using just the Just My Luck palette. If you just have a single, very deep matte green shadow and a nice metallic green, you could do it that way as well. In the past, I've actually done this entire look just using these two shades right here from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and that's it. I just wanted to go ahead and kick it up a notch, and this palette is fantastic. Kathleen Lights actually made me purchase this. If you can still get your hands on this, I don't know if it's limited edition, but I did get it from Ulta. It is just a fantastic addition to your collection. It's got these giant 6 pans of just the most metallic foiled shadows ever. They are so dimensional and beautiful. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of this look. Has this inspired you to dip into some of the deeper shades in your collection? I also want to know if you feel intimidated by darker shadows. I think that if you can have a light hand and you can find the proper brushes to pack on the shadow, and you can just be a little bit patient and put some time into blending, you will see that it can work quite easy for you. I am by no means a professionally trained makeup artist. I am just simply a makeup enthusiast who loves makeup, and I play with it a lot in my free time. So again, there you guys have it. Give this video a huge thumbs up if you like it. Leave me a comment down below and let me know what palettes you would like to see me dip into next for the next episode of the Palette Rewind. You know I love you guys so, so much. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye! Hey guys, what's up? And I feel like it just accentuates my features so, so well. I mean, red goes beautiful. Red. If you guys have been watching any of my recent videos, I mentioned that I kind of wanted to do a new, okay, kind of, no, I do want to.